My husband and I got married after only 5 months of dating, and I'm gonna tell you our story. I guess I'll start with some backstory. So I went through a really hard breakup like a year ago. That's actually why I started this TikTok page, just because I was going through a breakup. I went through a very spiritual, pivotal time, growing my faith a lot. I was getting closer to the Lord and just learning so much about what it means to be a godly woman, what it means to be in a godly relationship, what I'm looking for in a husband. I feel like I just had so much personal time with the Lord, and I was so content. And I finally reached a point where I was like, I am so happy being single. I'm so happy spending all my time with God that I don't even care when I find my husband, whether that's 5 years, 10 years, like I am so happy being with the Lord. The moment that I said that is when this man came into my life. So I had this friend that I went to dental hygiene school with, and she randomly texted me. It was like a Friday night. She texted me and she's like, hey, there's this guy that I know and he is really interested in you and wants to go on a date. So I was like, okay, like, do you have a picture of him or anything? And she told me a little bit about him, said that he was a Christian, he likes to work out, is applying for med school, and she sent me a picture, and I was like, okay. Mind you, it had only been a month and a half since I had gone through my last breakup. I mean, I was so done with that relationship at that point that it was kind of over with for me way before that, but it had only been a month and a half, which is crazy. I was just like, yeah, whatever, like, I guess we'll see it. No harm in going on like a coffee date or whatever. And so she ends up giving him my number. I think he texted me the next day and he was like, hey, my name's Josh. I got your number from blah, blah, blah. He kind of started to get to know me a little bit more. We just exchanged messages for like a day or two, I think. He asked me on a date. He asked me to coffee, which was perfect. I remember he did something that I absolutely loved, and it was, he said that he didn't want to text. We had like a week until the date. So he's like, I don't want to text this week because I want to get to know you in person on our date together. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. I just, let's just give it some time. And I loved that so much because I didn't want to like waste all of our conversation before even meeting each other. Of course, me being super close with the Lord at this point, did not want to get into another relationship unless it was my husband. Mind you, I'd been praying this prior to even meeting this man, like praying over all the things that I wanted in a husband, and for God to not bring anyone to me unless this was him. So I'm praying before this date. I'm like, Lord, if this is not my husband, like make something go wrong so I do not go on this date, or just make it so completely obvious that this is not the one for me. Everything goes smoothly. We go on our date. He gets there early. He asks me what I want, already has my coffee when I get there, gives me a hug when I get there, compliments me, like does everything right, is literally such a gentleman. So our date goes well, talk and have coffee for like an hour, and then we walk around the town that we're in for another hour, walked me to my car, whatever. It was so perfect. I was like shook after this first date. Okay, I was like, Lord, I don't want to get like way too over my head, but I think this is my husband. And I was so scared, mind you. I was so scared to invest my feelings into something again because I had just gone through like the worst time ever. So many breakups, and all of that relationship was just not good. I was just like so scared to invest my feelings into something else, someone else. He ends up asking me on a second date, like very quickly. We end up going bowling on our second date. But mind you, I have like some of this on my page. It's not even that far back, so it's just really cool to go back and watch it. Go on our second date, we go bowling, and then we get ice cream after. And at our second date, I was like pounding him with questions. I was like, what are your intentions? He was applying to med school, so he was going to be living out of state. And I was like, are you okay with long distance? Like, how are you feeling about this? Like, asking him the big questions because I wanted to know. I wasn't going to waste my time. And turns out he loved that, actually. So be bold, ladies, because it really does help. So I just found the crisp apple bloom. I really want to try this. I've seen so many good reviews. Oh yeah, that's freaking good. Wow. So after our second date, I was like, yep, he's the one. And we had both also said that like so far we had so much peace in like going on dates and like texting each other, which was so refreshing to hear. A man that was like literally on the exact same page as me with everything. I mean everything. Like obviously there's like little things that we have differences on, just like things that we like and whatever. But oh my gosh, it was just like a breath of fresh air to find someone that literally like spiritually and morally and just like everything was exactly what I was looking for. I went home, I was like, yep, this is my husband. We ended up dating like a month later. He ends up getting accepted into med school in Arizona. We lived in Michigan, so that was literally across the country. So this was crazy because I was like, I'm literally dating this man. This man's going to be my husband. Like, this is literally my future. This is no longer a question if I'm going to be living in Arizona at some point in the next few years. this is what's going to happen, which was like just a lot for me to process. But I had so much peace with doing long distance. I was not scared at all, and he told me the same thing, which was just really nice to hear that, and us both like having so much peace with everything. But we ended up moving out to Arizona. I think we had been dating for like 2 months at this point, maybe like a month and a half. Ended up coming out like a month after he moves out, so we hadn't seen each other for a month. We also had agreed to that we were not having sex before marriage, and we were going to flee from temptation in any way possible, which we had done. I came out to Arizona and we hadn't seen each other for a month, so obviously temptations are very, very high. I mean, we had both had that previously in relationships, so this was completely new to us, and nothing happened, but it was like temptations were so high. So I came back and we kind of just like joked around like, what if we just get married? We had planned to wait to get married for like a year after dating, and we were like, what if we just eloped? Like, that would be so funny. Him and I are both kind of like, we say something like that and then it's just like, okay, let's just do it. So that's kind of what we did, and we were like, no, let's pray about it, let's ask people about it, get wise counsel from this, because we don't want to do something just because we want to do it. Obviously the temptation was like huge, but also the long distance sucked, and like we were just like, if we know that we're gonna marry each other, like why are we waiting? So we ended up asking a lot of people. Luckily we do have a lot of people surrounding us that are Christians and that follow the Lord very closely, so we knew that like the Lord was gonna speak through others and just really help us in making this decision. It's crazy because everyone was like so on board with it. Obviously people had questions and stuff, but they were just like, yeah, I mean, if you know, like we see you guys together, we know that you fit each other very well. And it was so nice to hear everyone's response being so happy for us, and like if you feel that's where the Lord is calling you, then go for it. At this point we had been together for literally like 3 months. Like, it was crazy. We decided we were going to elope in November. We started dating in June, and we were like, okay, we'll do this in November because that's when my lease was up and I would be able to move out to Arizona right away. Okay, I actually hate doing this, but I have to make a part 2, but I'm gonna post it right away. It should be up right now.